Hello, I'm Sophie and welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to be doing another segment of a cooking video for Leduc Public Library. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make some thumbprint cookies. It is very easy to make and they taste delicious. Before I start, I'd like to start with some cooking tips, which are to wear an apron to protect your clothes, put your hair up to keep your hair out of your face, and when you're using the oven, be really careful and just ask an adult for some help if you don't know how to use it, as well as starting with a clean surface and washing your hands really well. What you're going to need is 1.5 cups of soft margarine. I have mine in this bowl right here. I already started to mix it up a little bit and it's pretty soft, so I think it should be good. You're then going to take 3/4 cup of icing sugar and you're going to start adding it in to your margarine. You're going to start mixing it using a whisk. You're going to cream it together and make sure that it mixes in pretty well. And then you're going to add in the rest. Let's get it out of the whisk. There we go. Then you will need 2.5 cups of flour, and you can start to add it in to your margarine and your sugar, and just start to mix that in just like you were doing with the sugar in the margarine. At this point, you can probably trade your whisk out for a spatula, which will probably be a lot easier than everything getting stuck in your whisk. So I'm just going to try to get the most of it out. I'm going to switch to a spatula. I'm going to just keep mixing. Making sure that you get everything from the edges of the bowl. Just keep mixing it in there. It should start to kind of form a dough, a little bit loose still. Now you can add in the rest of your flour. And just continue to mix that in with the rest of the dough. Best method, I think, is kind of the scrape it around and then kind of fold it on top. That seems to be the best way to mix it together. And now at this point, you're going to take your hands, make sure that you've washed your hands before you do so, and you're going to start mixing it together using your hand. And then you can kind of go around the bowl, move it with one hand and scrape on the side with your other. And it should really start to now become doughy and stick together. It shouldn't really be, free and crumbly. It should kind of start to be able to form, a solid chunk of dough. And now you're going to want to add in 3/4 cup of cornstarch, which you can just add in all at once. And just keep using your hands to make sure that you get everything mixed in really well and that your dough becomes a dough instead of just being more of just flour and stuff not mixed in together. So just keep mixing with your hands until you get it where, once you get your hands cleaned off a bit, where you can grab a chunk of it and easily form a ball. So I think we're pretty much at that point right now. So I'm just going to give it a little bit more of a mix just to make sure that everything on the bottom is well mixed in, and it looks like it is mixed in pretty well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my baking sheet And I already have some parchment paper on it. So if you don't have parchment paper on your baking sheet, you should put some on so that your cookies don't stick to your baking sheet. It will also make sure that they won't get burnt on the baking sheet like they do sometimes, especially if you're using a darker baking sheet. So I'm just going to take some dough and roll it into an approximate, about a tablespoon worth size ball. I'm going to take it and put it on my tray and just push your thumb into the cookie to make a hole in the center, not necessarily a hole, but more of a dip in the center of your cookie. You're going to go along making sure that you do that to all of your cookies, putting the dip in the center, and then you should be able to fit quite a few cookies on this tray, and it should be able to make quite a few cookies as well. So they don't rise too much, so you can probably put them relatively close together. It's not like a chocolate chip cookie where it's going to expand a lot. And you're just going to keep putting your cookies, rolling them out and putting them on your tray. And then when you have some cookies done, you can then take a filling of your choice. You can use a jam or a cherry, a blueberry, strawberry, kind of whatever you choose as a filling. And you're going to put that right in the indent sorry, you made with your thumb. So I'm just going to be using some raspberry jam. Just going to mix it up. And I'm going to use about a teaspoon worth to put for the filling of this cookie. A little bit less than that, I guess. There we go. And you can use whatever you want to fill it. You don't even have to fill it if you don't want to. I think it tastes better with a filling. It's more sweet. So it's totally up to you if you want to put a filling in. You can use any type of jam or jelly. You can use cherries, like I was saying, or pretty much any type of fruit to fill it. You could probably even use chocolate or caramel if you wish. So you're just going to then put whatever you want in the center of your cookies. And then you're going to take them to your oven and put them to bake for approximately 20 minutes at 300 degrees. And just make sure that it's 300 degrees, because I'm used to putting it at 350 so much, because most is 350. So just make sure that you know it's at 300 degrees. I'm just going to move these out of the way, because I made some cookies a little earlier that I'm going to show you. These ones are filled with raspberry jam, and here's some that are filled with cherries. These cookies are excellent. They taste amazing. So I really hope that you will give it a try. And thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.